her life for the better. Her book, Old World Magic for the Modern World, Tips, Tricks, and Techniques to Balance, Empower, and Create a Life You Love, is available on Amazon in Kindle, audiobook, and also paperback. And here's my special guest, Patty Negri.
I am a psychic, I am a medium, and I'm a witch. All of them born. A good witch. I don't, worship the devil or eat babies, but I do connect with nature. And when I was, as long as I could remember, a toddler, I would talk to the spirits under the bed and in the closet that all kids have. And I knew that they weren't really imaginary creatures at all. They were real beings you could talk to. I would find myself in the backyard knowing if I picked some mint and put it in my mom's wallet, she'd have some money, or rosemary, or do different things. When kids were normally doing mud pies, I was making real concoctions. It was just in me. And I always had a thing about obsession with the dead, but not in a dark or morbid way at all. It was like they talked to them, and I did my first seance at 7 or 8. So I've always been a seeker, so I wanted to discover what all this was and study religion, philosophy, cosmologies, belief systems, science, occult science, metaphysics, and take it down to what I do, which is seeing energy. And the one thing I noticed is that we have this amazing power, and people tend to give it away. I've tried all these other jobs. I run a production company, this and that, but I keep coming back to letting people know how amazing they are. So the reason I did my book was I almost literally got tired of saying the same thing over and over again. It's like, oh my gosh, you can change this. You could shift this. We have this tendency as humans to again give our power away to other people, to very limiting personal belief systems, to fear, to just personal doubt. And the tiniest shift, the tiniest perception shift or point of view shift, it opens up this whole new possibility, this whole new ability to move things. So I would sit there, and I'm a big believer in that mind, body, spirit philosophy. I mean, it's fact. It's 20,000 books are written on it. The psychology section, the self-help section, the spiritual section, the new age section. We understand mind, body, spirit is what gets you what you want. We know the mind part is we're never going to surpass our own belief system. We're not. You just can't. It's just psychology. You can't. If you go, this is going to be so easy, you've just made it a little easier. It's like I'd never be able to walk on stage. You've just created that. We understand that. Mind, body, we understand. We have to take action. Sitting on the couch wishing you were in shape, sitting on the couch wishing you had a lever is rarely going to do it. Mind, body. But if you have 1 out of 3, that's wishful thinking. You've got nothing. 2 out of 3 is hit or miss, and more often than not miss. 3 out of 3 is a home run. But always, unless you're trying to break the laws of physics, fly without an airplane, get 3 feet taller, haven't figured that one out yet. But the spirit part, that's actually the battery that makes it happen, the energy behind it. And that's what's less tangible, so people don't get it. In reality, you could do it lots of ways. You can do it through your belief system, your religion. Go to church, go to temple, pray. You could do it a very new age, like affirmations, vision boards, belief systems. You could do it the path I took, a little bit more working with herbs and oils and nature. But whatever it is, when you have that mindset belief system, when you are taking action, again, whether that's walking into a church or dancing around a bonfire, and that spirit, faith, magic behind it, everything changes. And so being an LA girl, being a city girl, being a busy girl, I also needed to do things fast because, yeah, it is great to meditate for an hour. I highly encourage it. Everybody should meditate. But 9 times out of 10, I need to pull myself together in 30 seconds. I don't have an hour to meditate. It's like I'm doing this right now. I have to be at my best. So I took the basic philosophy of that and my magical knowledge working with the elements and came up with these like 30 seconds to fix almost anything. It's like, and it works. It works. You don't have to meditate for an hour. Yes, you can. But if you use that elemental system, I literally have people put their whole body, their whole self into the 4 elements. We understand that element system. Native Americans do it, any shamanic peoples, Peruvians, pagans like myself. If you put your whole self into air, fire, water, earth, hey, what does that mean? Your earth is who you are, your grounding. It's your persona, how people know you. It's your home. That's your earth. You got good earth. Yeah. Your fire, that's your passion. Creativity, love, sex, God, art, that thing that gets you going, wakes you up. And that's north and south in the compass that I'm working. Almost all magical systems work on some form of compass. And that's kind of who you are. But where we get off balance is our west and east. And if you can't see me now, but I'm holding my arms out like a little kid doing an airplane going sideways. West is our water. That's our emotions. And think about it, 60% of our body is water. It just has to flow. 70% of our planet is almost water. Water has to flow, not stuck down, dammed up. So in our east, our air, that's our thinking brain. That's our left brain. That's our focus, clarity. That's the chatter that gets going. That's the fog that gets going. So if we tap back into nature, which my whole book's sort of about, and if you're not as happy as you should be, if you're alive, you should be happy. You could make your life what you want. If you're not as happy as you could be, or if you're not as productive as you could be, I should be doing this or not. Or equally important, you're not as conscious as you can be. We've gotten to the point, and I honestly think that's what this whole world situation is like with the pandemic. We don't want to be, asleep at the wheel, by rote, automatic pilot, phoned in. That's just like sleepwalking through life. That is being zombies. We want to be conscious, make our choices, know what we're seeing, looking, feeling. So if you're not happy, productive, or conscious as you want, instead of staying there or trying to numb yourself like most people do, that some people drink, some people eat, some people have sex, some people go shopping. We have all these different things that we do. Instead, just go, what is it? What is off balance here? Because it's all about balance. Is it my emotions? If it's your emotions, somebody, cut you off on the highway, or you've had a fight with somebody, big or little, justified or not, if it's your emotions getting the best of you, that's your water element. What you need is water, running water. You think how good you feel after a shower, right? No matter what. And that's only 1 or 2 out of the 3, but that running water makes you feel, it literally has, like an aspirin takes away a headache, water releases emotion. So if that mind, body, spirit thing works, you can't jump in a shower 1,000 times a day, but you can always find a sink, a drinking fountain, a hose, pouring a bottle of water on your hand. Walk up to that water source, turn it on, set your mind. Okay, with this water, whether you're talking to God or the element of water itself or your guides or your higher self, with this water, I am going to release this angst, fear, anger, confusion, whatever it is. Mind, body, run your hands underwater for 30 seconds. Hands are portals. Healers work with their hands. We have all these words. The water itself is the touchstone. Mind, body, that's the spirit. Within 30 seconds, you could get rid of that excess anger, fear, confusion, angst in a healthy way without stuffing it down or trying to numb it.
Lowe's knows how to turn big plans into real results. Whether it's new appliances or a home refresh, get started with 12-month special financing on purchases of $299 or more with the MyLowe's Rewards credit card, January 15th through the 30th, so you can invest in your upgrade now and pay over time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer subject to credit approval. Cannot be combined. Minimum monthly payment required. See store at Lowe's.com for details.
You open the fridge, there's nothing there. So what's it gonna be? Greasy pizza? Sad drive-thru burgers? Dish by Blue Apron is for nights like that. These are the pre-made meals of your dreams. At least 20 grams of protein. No artificial flavors or colors. No chopping, no cleanup, no guilt. Keep the flavor. Ditch the subscription. Get 20% off your first 2 orders with code APRON20. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive Progressive's direct rate. Then, their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
All in the air element. So if you're sitting in the restroom, in your car, and you're going or or E-I-E-I-O with your kid, doesn't matter. Within 30 seconds, you will actually notice the chatter in your head begin to stop, any fog begin to lift, and the clarity coming in.
That's
easy.
good to know. That is awesome. I have a scattered brain myself, so I want to talk to you more about that here in just a moment.
We
But
all
you said
do.
all right, tell people that, and if so, do they have negative reaction to it?
All right, I'll be back.
Well, I do now. I certainly do. I didn't at first. I mean, when I was a kid, I thought everybody had it. I think in the teen years, you wanted to I just want to be like everybody else. The 80s, I wanted to shut it all down, but I didn't. But I've always been in the entertainment, and I ran a production company and I still have it, but for many years. And I really had to hide that part of myself, though it was who I was. I was a psychic. I was a medium. I worked with people. I had a coven. I did magic and ritual and spells, but I kept it very private because if I do these big corporate shows, which I did and do, and if you're working for like Mattel or IBM or the biggest bank in the world, it's like they can't know that, I talk to dead people and dance around bonfires. That's probably not good if I'm teaching, ethics to their oilmen or policy to HR via a song and dance extravaganza production. So I kept it really quiet. And then about 2008, I think, when that economic crash happened and corporate entertainment, big shows became a dirty word, and reality television was building up. I was asked, which I had been all the time, to do a show called Mobile Home Disaster on country music television. I'm like, nope, I won't do it. And there goes, please, we need somebody who's really good and really legitimate at seances. We've got this home makeover show. There's a spirit there, and we need somebody legit. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I keep that. And then I've thought about it, and I go, well, wait. Nobody's going to watch a show called Mobile Home Disaster on country music television. Sure, I'll do it. And I fell in love with doing it. It's like, it's not like acting. It's me being me, giving my message. That you don't have to memorize things. They're following you around with 3 cameras. I get to give my inspiring message. It was really fun. And I was like, this is great. But I'm like, okay, that's it. Nobody else. And no one's going to watch it. But it aired and people did watch it. And I remember my first call from one of my very corporate clients. I got a call. I saw you on TV yesterday. I'm like, oh, great. I'll never work for whatever bank again. And she's like, I didn't know you were into the paranormal and spirituality. That's great. I love it. And we had our best conversation ever. It didn't mess up my corporate relationship with her because it was kept separate. So it's like, I am out of the closet. I'm out of the broom closet. I'm out of the psychic closet. But then the corporate market continued to get harder and harder, and this market better and better. And I found I was guided by spirit that, okay, it's great to teach good policy to the HR people and the employee, but what if I just teach empowerment and magic to everybody, not in a corporate setting? So this world took over.
I see. All right, now you mentioned coven. I need to know, are you in one now, or do you have your own? And tell us for those that don't know what a coven is, tell us what it is.
A coven is a group of people who get together, and it's like a spiritual group. It's a little magical group or club. There's lots of ways to do it. I'm even going to explain. A witch can mean a lot of things, witchcraft, and a coven. To say you are a witch can mean the religious side of it, the belief system, like I am Wiccan, I'm a ceremonial magician, I am traditional British craft. It's like saying I'm Christian. You could be a Catholic or a Protestant or evangelical. So there's lots of ways. So it can be, I'm a witch. This is your worship way of being. Also, to say I'm a witch could be I do the craft, the witchcraft itself. So that way somebody can be a Christian witch or a atheist witch for that matter. So it's both the belief system and the practice. A coven itself is, again, a group that gets together. Most pagan groups or witch groups or Wiccan groups, they work off a very nature. They're not all nature-based or elemental-based. Some are earth-based, but they work off a compass. So you have 8 major holidays a year. They very much coincide with everybody else's, and they were kind of there first. There's the 4 solstices: summer, winter, fall, and spring solstice, which are the equinoxes. And then we have Yule, which is Christmas, and Ostara, which is Easter. And it all goes. So a group working together gets together. It's just kind of like going to church, but with a small group. It could be, I was with a group of 5 women, 6 women, very different backgrounds, even somewhat different belief systems, but we did this magic and belief and that inner power together for 20 years. We are not together anymore because people moving away. I'm working with a newish group now, but now in this modern world, there's lots of beautiful public rituals. It's safer now. People know that witchcraft doesn't have to be bad. You could have a Beltane ritual or a Yule ritual or a Samhain, which is Halloween. It's where you celebrate the dead. It's not a dark or scary thing. And thank goodness, maybe due to media, social media, it's getting out there.
So what are you doing when you get together? What are you guys doing?
Okay, it's always different. We usually you eat, you have a celebration. Say if it's Samhain, it's Halloween. That is when the veil is thinnest between the worlds. That is why people for Halloween actually dress up and you put out jack-o'-lanterns, because the spirits are there and you want to scare away the bad ones and please the good ones. Before Halloween it was Samhain, the time to celebrate the dead, celebrate the ancestors, just like Dia de los Muertos in Mexican cultures or Latin cultures. So we would get together, we would have an altar, we would celebrate the dead, we would eat, we might do a ritual, we might do, bring the world together love ritual, we might do a meditation, we might dance around a bonfire, we might raise an energy to do something in and bring in some magic. Everyone is completely different. But you hopefully leave a little closer to spirit or God or gods or your version thereof, a little more aligned, a little more enlightened is the whole goal. And you have community.
Okay. All right. So now just to give us a visual. Okay. So I want to know where you actually would do this. Like if you guys got together and you did a ritual, is it at somebody's house? Is it in a building? And can you kind of give us some idea of what you mentioned, an altar? What does an altar for you look like?
Yes, an altar. I have many different altars for different things, but a basic altar is something that it could be a deity that you work with. Like somebody could have a statue of Christ. Somebody could have a statue of Buddha. Someone might have a more witchy, like Hecate or the Horn God. You might have the Virgin Mary. In a regular pagan cultures, we do have certain things we use, like a chalice. Again, that represents the feminine. That is going to get into the holy grail of things. There's your chalice. You would have a thame or a knife, and that is to cut through things. You might have a wand, and that is to direct energy. I usually, personally, since I work elementally, have something that represents each of the elements: the air, fire, water.
Lowe's knows how to turn big plans into real results. Whether it's new appliances or a home refresh, get started with 12-month special financing on purchases of $299 or more with the MyLowe's Rewards credit card, January 15th through the 30th. So you can invest in your upgrade now and pay over time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer subject to credit approval and cannot be combined. Minimum monthly payment required. See store or Lowe's.com for details.
Here at Blue Apron, we know exactly how hectic school nights can be. That's why we created Assemble and Bake. Delicious one-pan meals that make family dinner simple. Just assemble the pre-chopped ingredients and put the pan in the oven to bake. Then you're free. To help out with that last-minute diorama, shop Assemble and Bake at BlueApron.com. Get 50% off your first 2 orders with code APRON50. Terms and conditions apply. Visit BlueApron.com/terms for more.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Earth. You might have a stone, a rock, or a crystal, or some sand there. You might have something with water in it. You might have a candle burning for the fire element, some incense for the air element. Again, if you're celebrating with ancestors, you might have pictures of your beloved loved ones or ancestors. And again, getting into the seasons, you would have things like what we know as Christmas time is Yule or Hanukkah. The Yule log comes from the early pagan witchy ways of being. You would have the holly and all that. That's actually pre-Christian, very, very pagan.
It has a lot to do with Christmas too, correct?
Yeah, well, yeah. With the Christians, yeah. Yes, when Christianity came in, they wanted people of other belief systems to understand it. So if here's a new religion, they would work within that religion. Like, say, Ostara, what pagans, long before Easter, there was Ostara. It was spring. It was celebration, fertility. And that's where the bunnies come from and the eggs come from. It's celebrating new life and creativity. When Christians came in, which is great, and again, Christ works in the same story, Easter eggs and bunnies have really nothing to do with Christianity, but they combine them for an understanding for people. And almost every belief system has done it. It's kind of beautiful. People could look at it as a weird thing or a beautiful coming together thing. Because again, I see energy. And no matter what exact words people are using, if you look at the through line of energy, there's basic truths in all. No matter if you're using the word Odin or Jesus or Mother Nature or, the beast in the forest.
Yeah. I was kind of shocked to hear that Christmas really had, pagan roots. Like it was all intertwined in that era or that kind of history. I was shocked anyway. There's a lot of good books if anybody wants to read about it and educate themselves on it. But I want to ask you, okay, let me ask you this. You got me really intrigued here about what you guys do. Okay, is this always done like privately? I mean, do you ever have like people observe you?
Yeah, you can have people observe you. And again, lately you might have your group, you might be in somebody's house. Bad weather, you might be sitting around the living room, sitting around the kitchen table. I like outdoors when possible and weather. We might actually make a little bonfire in the backyard or around the fire pit. More and more everywhere is public rituals, though. You find a nice little metaphysical store, or cult store, or new age store, and it's amazing how much they're starting to do their own rituals. I've gone to public rituals like Beltane, which is May Day. That's when the veil is also thin, but it's that springtime. The fairies are holding up the veil, belief versus the dead. That's the dancing around the maypole kind of thing. I've been to public rituals with 300 people dancing around this great big maypole and celebrating life and celebrating fertility and creativity and spring. That's our church.
Have you ever witnessed anything like happen, like during one of your rituals, like something like weird happened?
My whole life is something weird happening. And yes, I've seen things completely unexplainable.
Like what? Tell us something.
Well, in ritual, it's more energetic, what you feel. I mean, you could literally travel. Though I have seen somebody actually pick up Muhammad Ali years ago with like literally spontaneous holding him up without holding him up, like levitating. The boxer Muhammad Ali. What? I've seen.
Wow.
But because ritual is so much more about worship and celebration and connecting with spirit. So that's more what you're feeling inside. But say if you get into a spell working, or like with my seances, which I'm known for, or if you're going out an investigation and things, that's where I've had everything from, things flying around a room, literally, to someone, bursting into flames, literally.
Oh, wow.
They're
Okay. Yeah. Let's talk
Yeah.
about that. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So, all right. So, for those that don't know what a seance is, first of all, just tell us that, and then, why you do it.
Okay. A seance is speaking with the other side, speaking with the dead. Nothing dies. Science has proven that. It just changes. People have been talking to the dead forever and ever. I have literally been doing seances since I was 7 or 8. They're not bad. They're not evil. It's not mostly like you see in the movies, being in big dark things. It can be. It's you're opening a door. You just have to be careful who you're letting in. Again, been doing them a long time. My ones at home, whether around my dining room table or now around a Zoom thing with people all over the world, we're going to come bring in, let's talk to grandma. Let's talk to your deceased loved ones, your guides. I've gotten, and you get practical, you get love and solace, and sometimes you get practical information. I was literally given an iPhone code by a spirit so his wife and young child could open the iPhone to get the pictures and videos out. So that's what a seance is, whether you're working with just spirit and I'm channeling, or you're working with a Ouija board or other divinations. It doesn't matter. It's just an open door how you're talking to spirit. I think one of the craziest ones was, again, and I usually do good ones. When I'm on the TV show Ghost Adventures, they don't care about talking to grandma because that's not the style of the show. You're going to be channeling a serial killer or a dark something. So that's a whole different story. But we were filming a documentary about a house. It's actually in my neighborhood. I live in the Hollywood Hills, right under the Hollywood sign, this little neighborhood built in the 1920s, the first movie enclave. And there was this house. It was built by Charlie Chaplin, the silent movie star, for his girlfriend, a movie star, Mary Astor. And it was a big party house of the day in the 1920s. And then in the 60s, the Rolling Stones managers bought it. So the Rolling Stones lived there, Mamas and Papas, Graham Parson, all sorts of rock and roll people of the day. When they moved out, the person who invented the real life sex doll moved in. And then when he moved out, Marilyn Manson, the singer, moved in. And he worked there and recorded there. And he was my neighbor for 7 years. The house actually got too scary for him, which is weird to say, too scary for Marilyn Manson. But we were doing a seance there. They were doing a thing about this haunted house, this party house that draws in creative, chaotic, sometimes a little darker, just magical people. And at first, and you have to be respectful. But number one rule is we are in charge, and number two, be respectful to the dead or spirits or whoever you're talking to. We had 4 cameras, so everything was caught on camera. This one kid got a little too feisty, maybe because he was on TV, maybe because he was just being a kind of an idiot, smart aleck, and he was saying things that the spirit didn't like. So first things were happening, like the French doors flew open, and everybody's screaming. The big French doors. It's like. And the producer side of me is going, wow, that's like special effects. It's not faked. I would never ever fake anything, but that happened. So we closed the door and then it happened again. And then this energy is building and I'm feeling it. And then all of a sudden he said something else really stupid. And the speakers, old school speakers like for radio, came on the floor off the record player. This white noise just, everybody's, oh, what's that? And that turned it off. And that happened again. We looked later, they weren't even plugged in. But all of a sudden this energy's building, and we're working with the board. And all of a sudden this kid said something really stupid. And the cameraman, one of the cameramen who was across the table pointing right at him, literally burst into flames. His back like a V of fire, like angel wings of fire. He wasn't by the fireplace. He wasn't anything, just poof, spontaneous combustion. Everybody starts screaming. He's just not even aware of it at first. 2 cameras caught it. His camera didn't because he was looking the opposite way. Obviously, like, why is everybody screaming at me? Cool. Which medium Patty becomes medic Patty, of which I am. An EMT is like, drop and roll. I'm calling in my guardians and my protectors to shut it down. The seance is over. I don't care what we're doing. nobody burst into flames on my watch. We're rolling him on the floor. His shirt burnt off him like poof, like it was a synthetic. It was a cotton. It should not have went poof like a nylon or a polyester. And I saw this blistering. I'm like, oh my God, you have to go to the doctor. We are done. But the guy who caught on fire was inspired because he was a super skeptic and he just couldn't believe this happened. He goes, no, I'm okay. I have a sweater. He'll took off the shirt. We can continue. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I talked to the spirit. It wasn't demonic or anything. It rarely is. Talked to the spirit, just cranky, and because the kid was being an idiot. And he promised to be good. I promised we won't even get rid of you. So we did finish the seance. A few more glass threw out of a cupboard. Somebody did try to push this same cameraman off a cliff. But the amazing thing was he showed me 3 weeks later. He goes, Patty, look on his back where the burning was. It literally almost looked like he had went and got a tattoo of a dragon. It had the open mouth, the sharp teeth, the winged head into that shape of a serpent. And that's the exact energy I called in to shut down the seance. I work a lot of dragon magic. It's crossroads magic. Whether you believe they're real beings, it's that energy that fly between heaven and earth. They're powerful. They've been around. So that's exactly what the blistering turned into. I'm like, oh my God, you have a tramp stamp of a dragon on your back. That is the coolest thing. He thought it was cool too, actually. He was so inspired. He became a believer. He wrote a film actually about the whole thing with Stephen Norrington, the guy who wrote The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and the Blade Vampire series. So they wrote this about a TV psychic who does all the reality shows, kind of about a me person, but then doing another reality show, and then it turns into a horror film. They haven't done it yet because they got another film, but I sat down with them with the script for like 5 hours. I go, oh, you can't say that. He goes, but you said that. I go, I know I said that, but that's a hecko. That opens a veil. We don't want to be one of those cursed horror films, do we? Which so often happens. And then, of The Exorcist, this things happen to people. Because spirits...
Lowe's knows how to turn big plans into real results. Whether it's new appliances or a home refresh, get started with 12-month special financing on purchases of $299 or more with a MyLowe's Rewards credit card, January 15th through the 30th. So you can invest in your upgrade now and pay over time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer subject to credit approval and cannot be combined. Minimum monthly payment required. See store or Lowe's.com for details.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average, and auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
Guys, it's no use putting it off. The best time for an underwear refresh is now. Tommy John underwear is designed for a perfect fit that stays put all day. There's zero chafe thanks to 4 times more stretch than competing brands. And their innovative horizontal quick drop fly is a game changer. With over 30 million pairs sold, there are thousands of men out there more comfortable than you. Don't settle for less. Go to TommyJohn.com today for 25% off your first order with code COMFORT. That's TommyJohn.com, code COMFORT. Tommy John. Comfort perfected.
Wait a minute. You said, explain that a little bit, because you're saying if he said a certain thing that you said during that seance, that would actually open like something?
Yeah, that sounds, again, just like the Hecka work I was talking, sounds really do open portals. And that's why sometimes in movies or horror movies, or that things happen and things get what they think is cursed because doors get open, portals get opened. And it doesn't have to be.
You're exactly
I changed the word. That's why there is so many cursed horror films and stuff.
Yeah. Let me tell you something real quick. I interviewed her a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago. Linda Motenhow had a guest on her show, and he had decided he was going to practice until he hit certain sounds so that he could go to this, like, there's a place, I don't know where it is in the world, but it's not in the United States, it's outside United States, but it has, like, it looks like a door carved into like a mountain or a rock, a huge rock, and he had read that if you kneel down by that door and you make the sounds just right, you will go somewhere. Well, he did that, and his wife was with him, and he said his wife literally watched him disappear. And what he said, where he said he went was incredible. He said, I'm just going to tell you this one thing. He said, it's really detailed, but he said he actually went outside of our universe when that happened, and they showed him a lot of things, and he came back. But this is one of the most unreal things I've ever heard. But this is the second time I've heard someone say that sounds actually open portals, because they say it actually happened to a guest of mine who went to the pyramid in Egypt, the big one there, and he said they went in that echo chamber and they made sounds and they saw like people come out of nowhere around them. So yeah, that's wild.
It's science as much as spirituality. Sound waves, we know, like music can invigorate you, soothe you, inspire you. Sounds have effects on us, literal, the brain waves, the sound waves themselves. So they really can open portals. That's why you do have to be very careful. That's why, again, you sing in church and you chant in church, or every belief systems, and you're opening things, and you're getting into different states and different brain states and different meditative states, and then different realms of spirit. I did one, again, my regular seances, I worked in this earth realm or spirit realm. One of my teachers, mentors, he's a real more, he's an expert on the ET world. He gave me the words and sounds and symbols and sigils to call the Anunnaki. He's an expert on the Anunnaki, which were like the early aliens, supposedly, the Nephilim, that big race that came down and kind of created humans. And I did these words and the chants, and yes, this whole other realm of like alien kind of thing came. It was by sounds and symbols and sigils. It's wow. That's how it works.
Unreal. That is unreal. Okay, so about your seance, when you're actually doing it, how do you know for sure you're not talking to?
When you're doing a seance or mediumship or opening the veil for magical work, be very specific of who allow in. Even if it's like, people attached to loved ones or spirits of love, spirits loving and spirits, go with the love and light thing. Whatever you have to do,
Oh, come on. Oh, hell no. Oh, well.